May Allah heal you from whatever pain you are suffering from. May Allah heal you from whatever pain you are suffering from.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen amma ba'd fa'a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim bismillahir rahmanir rahim as-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Rasulallah
الصلاة والسلام عليك يا رسول الله
wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Habiballah
وعلى آلك وصحابك يا حبيب الله
salatu wassalamu alayka ya Nabiyallah
الصلاة والسلام عليك يا نبي الله
wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Nurallah.
وعلى آلك وصحابك يا نور الله.
Welcome back, viewers, to our weekly program, Spiritual Cures. This is your program where your messages and your istikharas are involved in part of the program. One of the segments that we do have in the program, which is the wazifa of the day. So watch out for the wazifa of the day for this week. Inshallah, so get your pen and pad ready, or if not, you can have your mobile phone ready and you can just take a picture as well. So without wasting further time, let's move on towards the actual program. But just before we move on to our Muballigh that's here with us in the studio, I'd just like to mention one of the benefits or one of the excellences of reciting Durood and Salam upon the best of mankind, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. Final Prophet of Allah, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, said, "Whoever recites salat upon me 1,000 times in a day shall not die until he sees his place in paradise."
Subhanallah.
Subhanallah. So here 1,000. Now when somebody hears 1,000, he thinks, oh, that's a massive number. But remember, there's no fixed Durood Sharif that you need to read. So even if you are reading a small Sallallahu ala Muhammad, Sallallahu alayhi wasallam, these are also Durood Sharif. And reading it 1,000 times, even though it sounds like a very big number, but I think if you sat down and started reading Sallallahu ala Muhammad, Sallallahu alayhi wasallam, I think maybe 3, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. So if you're very slow or you're starting new, afresh, now say maximum 10 minutes. But look what you're getting for them 10 minutes. If I said to you that, give me 10 minutes of your time and I will give you X amount of wealth, something worldly, or I'll give you this car, you'd without doubt give me those 10 minutes every day. And look what you're exchanging that 10 minutes or 12 minutes even, or 15 minutes, look what you're exchanging it for.
Subhanallah.
Guaranteed place in paradise. Subhanallah, which is priceless. You can't be bought. You know, you can be the richest man in the world and you can't buy yourself a place in paradise. So look how easy Allah Azza wa Jalla has made it for us to gain paradise.
Subhanallah.
Sallu ala al-Habib
Sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad.
So Adil Bhai, mashallah, is here with us. Adil Bhai, I'm hoping you're well.
Alhamdulillah.
Mashallah. Let's move to some messages. I did receive some messages. I'll mention them. Adil Bhai, if you can take note. And then inshallah, any further ones that come, inshallah, we'll also mention them as well.
Inshallah.
So we'll make a start. If you can take note. Salam. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Please, can you share a wazifa for shadi or a good rishta?
Inshallah.
So for marriage. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Can you send me a ruhani ilaj for fever? Fever, high temperature, bukhar.
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is for a friend. An Islamic brother has gone from his home and the family are wanting him to return home. So if you can have a wazifa for this, or left home for that. He's left home and the family are wanting him to come back. I'll leave them with you. If you can start looking into these, inshallah. I will check if we've received any other messages. Inshallah, we'll move on to them. And meanwhile, whilst our Adil Bhai is looking into the messages, I've got the Fizani Madina magazine open in front of me. on one of our favorite topics that we like to speak in regards. So, Darul Ifta al-Sunnah. So, some public questions which are sent to Darul Ifta, to the Muftiyan-e-Kiram, and the replies that are given by them. So, one of the questions here, reading Salah with metal jewelry. What do the honorable scholars say regarding this matter? Many youngsters who regularly pray Salah also wear metal bracelets made from copper, brass, etc. Please clarify the Islamic ruling of men wearing such jewelry and the impact of that on their Salah. And the reply the Muftiyan-e-Kiram gave to the question, it is impermissible for a man to wear a bracelet made from brass or any metal or material, and it is prohibitively disliked, ay makruh tahrimi, to offer salah whilst wearing it. The person will be sinful for offering salah in this state, and it will be necessary, ay wajib, to repeat it. Allahu Akbar. So this is something that we need to pay attention to, because Adil Bhai, nowadays there is a trend where a lot of our youngsters, unfortunately, do wear different types of jewelry. Adil Bhai, I think you're ready to give some replies.
Labbaik, inshallah. Wazifa for the marriage. We obviously receive the plenty of calls as well. People are struggling to get good rishta. So may Allah Ta'ala give them every single person who needs the rishta, a good rishta. Wazifa is very beautiful wazifa. This is obviously whoever needs it, they need to read every day until they get married. So inshallah they will get a good rishta, inshallah. Recite Surah Ikhlas 41 times when sleeping and make dua for a marriage. Only recite Salat 11 times before and after it. Make an intention that in your wedding ceremony you will refer from films, dramas, songs, music, or anything.
Refrain from
so read 11 times Durood Pak before and after, then Surah Ikhlas 41 times. Inshallah, when you're going to do the dua, obviously you have to do the dua from the heart. You need a good rishta. So do that until you get married. So inshallah, you get a good rishta in this way.
So
inshallah.
Time of sleeping, before you go to sleep,
Before
Durood Sharif before and after, 11 times?
11 times.
11 times Durood Sharif before and after. Surah Ikhlas, ay Qul huwallahu ahad, right to the end, the complete surah, 41 times.
41 times.
And then make dua, obviously with sincerity. You put your heart into it, and inshallah, it will be answered quicker. What if somebody's recitation is not correct? It should be. This is like Surah Ikhlas is one of the smallest surahs, and it's one of the common ones which a lot of people read in their salah. But just say if somebody's makharij or their pronunciation is not correct, Adil Bhai, then what shall they do? Can somebody else read for them? Or if 41 times, 41 is a big figure for some people. They have to read it 41 times, and just hearing 41 put somebody off. What do you advise to those people?
Yes, obviously we need to sit down with someone, because obviously purpose is you want to get married. So you need to obviously correct yourself first, then inshallah you're going to get a good rishta as well. So just put a little bit effort, sit down with somebody who can read properly with pronunciations, and then read on the front of that person and ask that person if I'm reading it correct or not.
So the gist of is that to gain something, you have to do something. You have to give something.
Exactly.
So somebody needs to give time. So somebody else can't do it for them. They need to do it themselves.
Exactly.
So they need to give some time and learn the correct pronunciation. And to gain something, you can't just have it for nothing. You need to sacrifice
you need to put the effort.
Time and some effort.
Yes,
mashallah.
definitely.
So there you go for the person who sent the message in regards to marriage. Surah Ikhlas 41 times, Durood Sharif 11 times before and after, and make dua in the court of Allah Azza wa Jal with sincerity, inshallah Azza wa Jal. I think there's a duration for this, that you'll get married or engaged.
Until the rishta is completely, nikah meaning has been done. Sometime obviously when somebody has rishta, they stop it. So it's mentioned over there that you're going to carry on until your nikah has been done.
Okay.
So you have to
So
read.
until purpose is fulfilled.
Yes.
Inshallah. So just because the engagement happened, don't stop. Continue
Exactly.
until the marriage is
This is the answer.
until the purpose is fulfilled.
For the fever, very beautiful wazifa, alhamdulillah. La yarawna fiha shamsan wala zamharira. That's the ayat, para 29, verse 13.
Surah Ad-Dahr. Ad-Dahr.
Surah Ad-Dahr. Recite this blessed verse 7 times with the salat upon the Holy Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam once before and once after. Perform them, inshallah azza wa jal. Fever will be, inshallah azza wa jal, getting reduced.
Subhanallah. So for fever, the person who sent this message in, now this isn't just for this person who sent the message in. Viewers of Madani Channel,
Anybody.
all of you can take note of this particular spiritual cure. And I think, like in the home, even though nobody's ill, there's a few things that you keep in the home. For example, I think there'll be I can't imagine a home which doesn't have paracetamol in the home.
Every other.
Okay? So this is something which is like part of the home. Even though nobody's ill, it's there just in case somebody's got a bit of a headache, somebody's a bit of a fever or not feeling well, etc. So this is like just one example I've just mentioned, but there will be other things that you'll have in the home. It's like if I think at home now, okay, what have we got? Dried pudina. We've got at home. Somebody's got a bit of upset stomach or vomiting. That helps for. So there is certain things, whether it's homemade remedy type things or whether it's those type of medications which are not doctor prescribed. You can buy them from the counter. For example, you might even have like some sachet of like flu sachets, which you like another. I don't want to mention a company, but you understand what I mean. Like something which for like cold and flu, etc. And then there's other things. For example, like when it's the springy summer season and people suffer from hay fever, etc. So there are some things which our households, we have them just there for the sake of it. So I think this spiritual cure, this actual spiritual cure is one of those which should be part of the parcel.
Subhanallah.
This should be there because somebody up and down, whether it's a child, whether it's some teenager, adult, etc., or elderly, somebody suffers from fever every now and again. And this is something which we should have in the home. You should have this noted down, saved on your phone, etc., or in a notebook, etc.
Yes.
Anybody suffers from fever, there you go. You take it out, and this particular surah, like Adil Bhai has mentioned, you recite this verse 7 times, Durood Sharif once before and after, and simply perform them upon the afflicted person with fever, and inshallah Azza wa Jal, just by doing so, the person will be he will actually feel the fever reducing, inshallah.
Inshallah. I'll mention one more thing, guys. If somebody's, for example, even though reading these and still they feel is still, the temperature is there. So nearest basta, nearest stall of tawizat, just speak with the Islam brother, get tawizat. We give the tawizat as well for the fever, and use those. Hopefully, inshallah, you will get benefit, inshallah.
Subhanallah. So this spiritual cure for fever, and if somebody's fever is such that it's not reducing by using this spiritual cure, mashallah, beautifully, Adil Bhai has recommended that go to your nearest Ruhani Ilaj stall. And there is a particular taweez there which is specially for that fever which doesn't reduce or doesn't go away. And inshallah, by using that particular taweez, which I can picture now, I remember it's the two.
Yes,
and that will, inshallah, reduce your fever. Jazakallah, Adil Bhai, for that. Have you got the other one ready? Or shall I?
Yes, I said, if the person run away or lost or gone, and house people, family members, they want that person to come back, they can do one wazifa, which is a very beautiful para 30, ad-duha, 7 and 8. Surah ad-duha.
Chapter 30, G.
And
Verse number 7 and 8.
Yes, G has 7 and 8. They just need to read 990 times. Before and after Durood Pak, obviously, whenever we mention any wazifa, you guys have to read Durood Pak before and after. Whatever amount, obviously, we mention it, that's obviously you're gonna continue. Otherwise, just read once or 3 times before and after Durood Pak. 990 times. وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى وَوَجَدَكَ عَائِلًا فَأَغْنَى. So this ayat 7 and 8, 990 times. Read it and then do dua. Hopefully with that, inshallah, that person will come back home.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. So whilst they in the home,
Yes.
they'll recite these 2 verses 990 times.
90
You're scaring people today with these big figures.
Just a small
I'm on the public side, and you're coming out with big figures, and as soon as you mention to somebody, oh, you need to recite this 990 times, they're like straight away.
Allahu Akbar. It's only 2 ayats.
Jaw drops 990 times.
It's a big gain as well, so the person inshallah will come home,
will return.
So
I did notice so وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى وَوَجَدَكَ عَائِلًا فَأَغْنَى. So the 2 verses need to be recited 990 times. And then he mentioned the whole surah once as well. I think you missed that bit.
After Isha namaz, 41 times they mention Surah ad-duha, Ma Bismillah Sharif. They have to read it.
So that's part of this, or
this is another wazifa which is mentioned obviously.
I think the 990 times you've already given one task. I think if you try to give them 2, then people will stop asking you questions, Adil bhai.
Allahu Akbar.
So for the person who sent in the message, so a family member has basically left home, and the family are worried for the person, and they want him to return home. So this particular spiritual cure is for this, that somebody who's either disappeared or has left home, and the family want him to come back. So you need to recite both these verses. I was just having a little bit of a with Adil bhai. Basically, the verse are not very lengthy, and I don't think it'll take long reciting them 990 times. You've got to count the tasbih in your hand, and you're also worried for your family person, and you want them to come back. I think it's not a big sacrifice to make, and if you put your mind to it, set your heart to it, inshallah, do the wazifa and then make dua sincerely in the court of Allah Azza wa Jal. Inshallah, your family member will come home. May Allah Azza wa Jal make it easy for you, and make this family member come home quickly, inshallah. Jazakallah Adil bhai for this. Let me just check on our messages. Okay.
Soon wazifa of the day as well.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Please could you do istikhara for so and so. Okay, so somebody is smoking. Doctors have advised that he needs to stop his smoking or cut back, as it's causing him severity in his illness. Is the istikhara request, and they've also given code name is Ya Ghos Al Madad. Subhanallah. Okay, inshallah we'll send this onto the majlis. Inshallah the istikhara will take place. Remember the istikhara replies, we mentioned them near the last quarter of the program. So inshallah we'll stay tuned and watch out for your code word. I'll just forward this on to the majlis. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Somebody sent a message. My son has a court case, etc. later this month. Could you do istikhara for us? My son's name is etc., etc. And they've actually forgotten to give us a code name. I'll just put here court case anyway, so I'll mention that, so then you'll understand that this istikhara reply is for yourself, G, because you've not mentioned a code name, but I will forward the istikhara details to the relevant department that do the istikhara, inshallah. Inshallah, it's now time for wazifa of the day. Move over to Adil Bhai, inshallah.
Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Dear viewers of Madani Channel, you are watching Spiritual Cure, and today's spiritual cure is to find a missing person, car or wealth, anything, while having a firm trust in the mercy of Allah. Recite the following as many times as you can while walking, talking, or sitting around. Wazifa is very beautiful and very easy to read. Ya Rabbi Musa, Ya Rabbi Kalim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. During this act, recite Salatun Nabi few times as well. Insha'Allah, you will find the missing person, vehicle or wealth, etc. This is also beneficial for the fulfillment of other needs as well. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
A beautiful wazifa. Now here, I know Adil Bhai has mentioned whether somebody's a missing person, a missing family member, whether somebody's lost a vehicle, it could be stolen here as well, meaning lost. It could be lost, it could be stolen, lost wealth, stolen wealth, etc. Very regularly we do get calls and messages in regards to this, even in the istikhara office, where somebody's jewelry has been misplaced, some other valuable item has been misplaced. So this, I think, is another spiritual cure of wazifa, which we should take down or save or have it in our phones.
Subhanallah.
Because even general day-to-day things, look, for example, you've got your house key. Now your house is valuable.
Exactly.
And the house also contains valuable items, valuable things. Now you lose your house key, you can't enter your home. So even if you've lost your keys, even there, this wazifa can be used even for something like this. But jewelry, etc. Mobile phone, sometimes people place it, they're looking for it then, and they can't find it, and then they have to go through other means or ring my mobile. Where is it ringing? Sometimes the phone is on silent. So even that idea of ringing it doesn't work as well. And especially if the vibrator is turned off as well. So that's another problem. So here this wazifa, and this wazifa is beautiful, alhamdulillah. We've given it to many people. Powerful. And alhamdulillah, a lot of people have found their lost and valuable items. Subhanallah. Ji Adil Bhai. Let's move on. I've got a few messages lined up for you. So let's mention these. So the previous one was a istikhara, which I mentioned. Let's move on. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope you are well. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen la kulli hal. We hope that likewise that you are also well. Can we give you a wazifa for eczema and itchiness on the back and face? Adil Bhai. Eczema, itchiness on the back and face. So Kharish. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Can you please advise me? I'm having a really hard time. Even though I'm working 7 days a week, I don't seem to find any blessing, any barakah in my home, in my earnings. He's saying that he's punctual in his salah, so he's regular in his prayer. He's saying that, he's saying that they're doing their ibadah, they're also doing rather wazifa, etc. He has mentioned something else as well, which I don't think is necessary to mention here. But it's somebody who's practicing, but he doesn't seem to be barakah, no blessings in the home or in his sustenance, earnings, etc. So he's asking for a wazifa. Inshallah, Adil Bhai. So,
inshallah.
I'm sure you can find something for this brother, inshallah. May Allah Azza wa Jal give you blessings in the home, blessings in your sustenance, and you earn that which is sufficient for you and your household, inshallah. Inshallah, Adil Bhai will give us something, inshallah, which we'll put into practice, inshallah. Something I will advise is do try to give charity, do give sadaqah. It doesn't matter if it's a small amount, it's the actual intention and the thought and the action that counts. So do try to give charity as well, because it does rid of many problems and hurdles and illnesses and etc. And inshallah it will be helpful here as well. But inshallah Dilbhai will give us a wazifa inshallah in regards to blessings in the home. Dilbhai, I've got a few more messages that I need to mention to you please, before you move on. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Please can you give me a spiritual cure for weak eyesight?
Labbaik.
Just keeping an eye on the clock as well. Well, quite a few messages. So can I mention a few to you, and then you can start digging them out as well. No. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Can you give me a spiritual cure for acne?
Labbaik.
Acne. Type of spots, Adil bhai?
Ji.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Can I request a ruhani ilaj for toothache?
Labbaik.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Can we request a spiritual cure for joint pain?
Labbaik. Inshallah.
One more, last one, Adil bhai, please. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Can you give me a spiritual cure for ease in difficulties?
Labbaik.
Mushkil, मेरा?
जी.
मुश्किल आसानी हो. जी Adil bhai, let you dig these out. Okay, we'll move back. I'll just see if we're caught up on the messages. Ji, we'll move on to another question while Adil bhai is digging these spiritual cures out. Okay, making new graves on old ones. What do the honorable scholars say regarding this matter, that there is an old publicly endowed i.e. waqf cemetery in a town which has now been completely filled with graves? Is it permissible to add 5 or 6 feet of soil on top of the graves to make new graves on top? So here there's like a publicly owned cemetery in a town, and somebody is asking that all the land has been filled with graves, and if they put more soil on top of the graves, can they bury somebody on top of a previous grave? So let's see what the Muftiyan Ikram have replied to this. In the aforementioned case, it is unlawful, i.e. haram, to cover an old cemetery with 5 or 6 feet of soil to make new graves. This would be a severe affront to the sanctity and respect of the graves of Muslims and a cause of pain for them. Because whatever harms a living person, it also harms the deceased. When it is not permissible to walk, I was just thinking about this, that look, like when you're even walking through the graveyard, you might go to see a family, somebody, a deceased relative or family. You need to avoid even stepping on a different graveyard. It's just, they're just mentioning this here now. The thought came to my mind, and that's what's being mentioned. So basically, they're saying that whatever pain a person feels, in the graves, it's also felt as well. So whatever harms a living person also harms the deceased. When it is not permissible to walk on a grave, place feet on it, sit on it, or make a pathway on it, then how can it be permissible to make a permanent grave on top of it? So there are other issues with this as well. To fill the cemetery with soil, tractors, shovel trolleys, other modes of transport need to carry basically all that soil. How are they going to transport it there?
Transport, yes.
So there'll be lorries, these digger dumper trucks will have to be used, and tractors and JCB, etc. So all these other modes of transport need to carry the material, will have to be used, or the people will have to do it manually. So bring in the soil, which most likely entail walking on the old graves. So even if they avoid bringing these diggers and dumper trucks and dump it outside of the the graveyard.
people
Somebody
can
has to still take it in to spread it. You can't
it.
just automatically get there. So, so some people need to bring in the soil, which will most likely entail walking on the old graves. New paths will be built to facilitate building work, and once ready, funeral processions and visitors will walk on them. These paths will almost certainly be built over the old graves. So in terms of Sharia, all of these actions are strictly haram, as it is disrespect of the deceased.
Allah.
Ji Adil bhai, I think you're ready.
Ji labbaik bhai sab, regarding eczema and itchy, it's very beautiful ayat. They have to obviously read it and blow on that affected area.
فكسونا العظام لحما ثم أنشأناه خلقا آخر فتبارك الله أحسن الخالقين.
This ayat, recite above verse and perform them on affected area. Wherever you have a problem, if you can't do it, for example, in certain areas, obviously person can't blow it, and then ask somebody else. They will recite it and blow it on that affected area, hopefully, or either on blow it on the hand and rub it on that area. With that, inshallah, your eczema, your itchiness will be removed, inshallah.
MashaAllah. Ji Adil bhai.
Yes, but eyesight. Quite a lot of people in the, especially who are using the computer, most of the time they have issues regarding eyesight. It's very simple and very beautiful wazifa. Ya Shakuru. Ya Shakuru. If someone's eyesight has become weak, recite 41 times, blow onto water and rub it over the eyes. Before and after Durud Pak, and blow it on the water, and be very, very careful. Don't drop that water on the floor. Just put something on your lap and then rub the eyes with the water. Hopefully you will get benefit, inshallah.
I've just got a couple of istikharas that I need to mention to you, but I'll let you carry on with the Ruhani Ilaj. I've got a couple of messages for istikhara. So, because we're coming quickly, the time goes so quick. So we're coming on to the end of the program, so I'll just get these sent in. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Can you do my istikhara, please? Name has been mentioned. Code name is Petal. Code name is Petal. And the next one, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Istikhara request, name, mother's names we mentioned. Yes. Code name Tulip123. Tulip123. MashaAllah. All about flowers today. Okay, so I'll just send these on to the majlis, inshallah. So we'll get these replies. Adil bhai, have you got some more? Ready for me?
Regarding barakat, somebody was having issue that he's obviously reading namaz, everything, but still barakat is not there. Sometime we obviously don't think that what we're doing, and certain things obviously in the house is being like I'm gonna just give the simple example. If somebody's eating the food, whatever is left we just throw in the bin. That's the one of reason as well for the barakat is gone away from the house. And our Pir Murshid is most of the time they mention in the Madani Muzakara, the pictures are in the house. And every other person have now statues and beautiful decoration pieces, which is mention the humans or animals.
A popular one is peacock.
Exactly. For that reason as well, that our barakat is gone away. This simple method I'll mention, inshallah. In the morning, once you read the namaz Fajr, after that you can recite before sunrise 90 times Ya Maliku, 90 times before and after Durud Pak. Hopefully with that, inshallah, you will get the barakat. Regarding acne, one wazifa, very simple and very beautiful. Ya Raqibu, whoever invoke this 3 times before and after Durud Pak and blow on blister or pimple or acnes, inshallah, they will get cure.
Subhanallah. Anyway, assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My son is 4 years old, not well all the time. His mother's name is and the code word that they have given is blue. So I've sent this on, inshallah. Let's go to the replies of the istikhara. Okay, so the istikhara reply for petal 1. Okay, petal. The istikhara reply has come back as azmaish, a test from Allah Azza wa Jal. So in regards to this, inshallah, Dilba, if you can take a note of a wazifa for those replies that come back as azmaish. The istikhara reply for tulip 123 has come back as a sign of illness. Tulip 123. So if this was your code name, the istikhara reply has come back as tulip 123. This particular, okay, so the court case, I wrote it down as court case. This was your istikhara. You didn't mention a code name, so I couldn't mention a code name. So I just wrote it down as court case. So the message which came in regards to a court case, the istikhara reply, he has given, and now I will mention this here, he has given a spiritual cure, the Majlis have sent us a spiritual cure in regards to winning a court case, but there is something which is actually mentioned in this, and I'll mention it to yourself as well, that this particular spiritual cure is done, but it's if you are innocent. Basically, if somebody is doing filed a complaint or whatever, and you're having to go to court in regards to this, and you are innocent, you're not guilty, then you should do this. If not, for example, if somebody is guilty and he's got a court case and you do this spiritual cure, it can have a negative effect on yourself. So I'd like to mention this first, and then we'll mention the actual, you can actually see this. It's actually taken from Mendak Sawar Bichu. So it's a scorpion on a frog. It's a booklet of Amir al-Sunnah which can be downloaded free from the Dawah Islami website, or you can attain it from your nearest bookshop, namely Maktabatul Madina. So scorpion on a frog in English, and in Urdu it's Mendak Sawar Bichu. And it's actually mentioned there, winning a court case, and it mentions that recite the following verse, and the reference of it is part 15, Surah Bani Israel, verse number 81. I need to recite this 133 times after each salah. And the actual verse is وَقُلْ جَاءَ الْحَقُّ وَزَهَقَ الْبَاطِلِ إِنَّ الْبَاطِلَ كَانَ زَهُوقًا. So this needs to be recited 133 times, Rushi before and after, and this is after each salah. And inshallah Azza wa Jal, you will be successful in winning the court case. But do remember that if you are innocent, then you will do this. If you are guilty, then do avoid it, because it can have negative effect. G. Another istikhara request. I'm just looking at the code name Ya Ghaus al-Madad. The reply that I've got in regards to this was that we don't do istikhara because I think it was in regards to a medical problem where either they, whether operating, etc. So there's certain guidelines, that certain things that we can't actually do istikhara for, and in regards to this, it falls into that category in regards to medication, etc. Or shall we have this operation done, etc. So the Muftiyan Kiram have guided us of what things we can do istikhara for and what we can't do. And unfortunately, this actually falls under that category where we can't actually do istikhara for this, but the Majlis have sent us a Ruhani Ilaj, a spiritual cure in regards to this, and it's mentioned that recite Ya Salamu, Ya Salamu, Ya Salamu 111 times, Durood Sharif before and after, and perform them upon the the ill person. Inshallah Azza wa Jal, he will gain cure. Now, and remember, it mentions regarding this Sifati name of Allah Azza wa Jal, Ya Salamu, that this is cure to all illnesses except death.
Subhanallah.
So,
Subhanallah.
do put this into practice, inshallah. May Allah will grant him complete cure, raise his ranks for the sufferings that he has gone through, and give him complete cure, give him healthy, make him healthy, even better health than before he became ill. G. Deepa, I think I've got one more, which was, I think it was this last one. Okay, code name Blue. So if your code name is Blue, then this particular spiritual, this istikhara reply is for yourself. And the istikhara reply has come back, the indication in the istikhara has come back as a sign of illness. A sign of illness. And then they've given you a spiritual cure in regards to this. That a lot of the time children fall ill, and some of the causes for them is like through evil eye, etc. And then it deteriorates and the child becomes ill. So in regards to this, recite for a small child, recite Surah Kawthar and blow on the right cheek, Surah Kawthar and blow on the left cheek, Surah Kawthar and blow on the forehead. And this is a protection, it's like a barrier for your children to protect them from evil eye. So something I recommend parents who are watching at the moment, you have small children, they regularly get ill or they regularly suffer from evil eye, etc. Then I recommend you take this on board. Very simple, Surah Kawthar, very small surah. Recite it once, blow on the right cheek of your child, recite it again, the second time, blow on the left cheek of the child, recite it the third time, and blow upon the forehead of the child, and inshallah it's like you've made a barrier for that child, protecting from all evil eye and illnesses. Jazakallah khairah. That brings us to the end of the program. The time does fly quickly, but keep your messages rolling, and the time goes quickly. We will see you next week, same time, same place, only on Madani Channel. Sallu ala al-Habib
Sallallahu ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
May Allah heal you from whatever pain you are suffering from. May Allah heal you from whatever pain you are suffering from.